Jeffrey Atkins, born February 29, 1976 in Queens, New York, better known by his stage name J.A. Rule, is an American rapper, singer, and actor signed to his own label Biography Records. He began his career in the group Cash Money Click and released his debut solo album, Veni Vedi Veci, in 1999. He has since released 2000's Rule 336, 2001's Pain is Love, 2002's The Last Temptation, 2003's Blood in My Eye and 2004's Rule. He now plans to release his seventh studio album, Veni Vedi Veci 2010, sometime later this year. He is best known for hits Put It On Me, Between Me and You, Wonderful and for being associated with Jay-Z as a part of the Murderers. J.A. Rule has sold over 20 million albums worldwide and has released 6 albums with one on the way. His best-selling albums are Pain is Love and Rule 336. J.A. Rule has beefed with rappers DMX, 50 Cent, The Game, Busta Rhymes, Dr. Dre, and Eminem. Early life. He attended junior high school in Floral Park, New York, where he met his future wife Aisha Murray and they graduated in 1991. They attended Martin Van Buren High School together but he did not graduate. When Atkins was 5 years old, his sister died from respiratory problems. Growing up in a strict religious home, Atkins' family did not celebrate birthdays and Christmas, and as a child, was not allowed to listen to rap music. When he first heard it, he decided to be a rapper. He would sneak the music into his house and played it on his CD player when his mother wasn't around. Atkins is married to his high school sweetheart, Aisha Atkins née Murray. They have 3 children, Brittany, 11, Jeffrey Jr., 6, and Jordan, 3. He and his family live in a mansion in New Jersey. Jeffrey's father left the family when he was very young. Atkins was raised as an only child, as his younger sister, Kristen, died in the womb when Atkins was 5. His mother, Deborah, was a healthcare worker, and due to the amount of time she spent working, Atkins was largely raised by his grandparents as a Jehovah's Witness. Atkins' mother left the Jehovah's Witness religion when he was 12. Soon after, Atkins began selling drugs in Hollis. Rise to fame. At age 15, Atkins appeared with 0 to 1 and Chris Black as part of Cash Money Click. This would lead to him being signed by TVT Records in 1994. He would end up being heard by a young DJ who called himself DJ IRV, then later IRV Gotti. Gotti was a friend of Jay-Z's and he was also a DJ for Def Jam recordings. During the mid-90s his main priority was meeting J.A. Rule. He wanted to sign J.A. to his new label Murder Inc. Records. He wanted J.A. because of his distinct deep voice. After IRV was able to sign J.A. along with DMX and Jay-Z to Def Jam, he began to have an idea that they all work together. They formed a group named The Murderers. They recorded many songs together. Friction tore the group apart. DMX, a rapper that sounds very similar to J.A., accused him of trying to steal his style with the deep voice, by saying that before the 3 were signed J.A. tried to make his voice sound lighter but heard him embrace the deep voice and tried to imitate it. They had planned to release an album together, but this idea was scrapped and they all made appearances on their respective albums. Still, around this time, J.A. Rule was still fairly unknown. Jay-Z, at the time a young star and new to Def Jam, was the most popular rapper in hip-hop. Russell Simmons had the idea that in order to build hype around J.A. Rule and capitalize on Jay's popularity that J.A. Rule do a verse on Jay-Z's 1998 single Can I Get A, which also featured Amil. Ja's performance of the verse made him a household name and he became an instant star, and by the release of his album a year later he was one of Def Jam Recordings' premier acts. Born in Hollis, Queens, he debuted in 1999 with Veni Vedi Veci and its lead single Holla Holla. During the 2000s, J.A. Rule was signed to Murder Inc. Records, formerly known as the Inc. Records and led by IRV Gotti. From 1999 to 2005, J.A. Rule had multiple hits that made the top 20 of the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 chart, including Between Me and You, featuring Christina Milian, I'm Real, Murder Remix, and Ain't It Funny, both with Jennifer Lopez, which both topped the Hot 100. The number 1 hit Always on Time, featuring Ashanti, Mesmerize, featuring Ashanti, and Wonderful, featuring R. Kelly and Ashanti. Rule has been nominated for 2 American Music Awards and 4 Grammy Awards with respective collaborators Lil Mo, Vita, Ashanti, and Case. Following the release of his platinum-selling debut Veni Vedi Veci, 1999, he released his second and third albums Rule 336, 2000, and Pain is Love, 2001. Both albums topped the US Billboard 200 album chart, launching him into the mainstream, selling over a combined 15 million records to a wide audience, and attaining triple platinum status from the Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA, becoming his best-selling albums to date. Rule followed up with his fourth, fifth, and sixth albums The Last Temptation, 2002, Blood in My Eye, 2003, and RULE. 2004, with Temptation attaining platinum status and RULE reaching gold status. As of 2018, Rule has sold 14.4 million units in the USA and has sold over 30 million records worldwide. In 2019, he joined the main cast of Wet's Growing Up Hip Hop, New York. Legal issues. In 2003, he allegedly punched a man in Toronto, who later sued. He received a $1,200 fine after pleading guilty to assault. In 2004, police investigated whether a feud involving Murder Incorporated led to a fatal shooting outside a nightclub party hosted by J.A. Rule and Leon Richardson. On July 1, 2004, J.A. Rule was arrested with Don Reese for driving with a suspended license and possessing marijuana. In July 2007, J.A. Rule was arrested for gun and drug possession charges along with Lil Wayne, and Don Reese, who served 8 months in prison during 2010 for attempted possession of a weapon stemming from the arrest. The court rejected J.A. Rule's argument that the gun was illegally obtained evidence. On December 13, 2010, J.A. Rule received a 2-year prison sentence after pleading guilty to attempted possession of a weapon after the aforementioned 2007 arrest. On March 8, 2011, J.A. Rule's surrender date for his 2-year prison sentence was set for June 8. He was first sent to Rikers Island, then later to a state facility in upstate New York. In July 2011, J.A. Rule received an additional 28-month prison sentence for tax evasion, to run concurrently with his state term, failing to pay taxes on more than $3 million in earnings between 2004 and 2006. He was released from state prison on February 21, 2013, but was immediately taken into federal custody for the tax case, for which he had less than 6 months remaining on his sentence. J.A. Rule was held in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center and was set to be released on July 28, 2013. J.A. Rule was released from prison early on May 7, 2013. By July 1, 2017, J.A. Rule faced more than a dozen lawsuits filed by ticket buyers and investors in the failed Fyre Festival, and his partner in the venture, Billy McFarland, had been indicted for fraud.